Good morning, David Combe here with the CBS AM Debrief. It's Thursday, the 1st day of December, and quite a night overnight. Global markets all lifted very strongly. One stage I saw the Dow up over 500 points. I had to sort of take a double look to make sure I wasn't saying something. But markets now been closed about 17 minutes, the Dow that is, and it's ended up closing up around 490 points, or 4.24%. The European market's up a similar amount. In fact, the DAX up around 4.98. Everything else pretty much lifted up, and we had some pretty good data out of the States on the employment front, but really that took a back seat to the coordinated intervention of the global central banks. So that includes the Fed, European Central Bank, Canada, Japan, Switzerland have all agreed to reduce the cost of offering dollar swaps. So this is taken very well by the market. Another rallying call was that China announced that they would lower their reserve ratio requirements for their banks by 0.5%. So that's bringing up more capital there. Let's have a look at the actual numbers here. I mentioned the DAX, but the FTSE up 3.16, oil up at over 100 at 139, and gold putting on a strong $33 rally up 17.52. To our region, let's have a look at what the futures have in store for us by going down here and just get that to load up here. Okay, so we are looking like an absolute cracking run here for the SPY. 141 points. Not often you see that. Not often you see triple figures, or at least the upside. So yeah, 141. Hang Seng down 25. The Nikkei up 200. Let's take a look at the commodity side of things. We've looked at crude here. Got a few little decliners here in cocoa and canola. Cotton coming off. Interestingly, orange juice a little, wheat a little. But the rest strong moves was oats up. Been putting in some strong gains in the last couple of days, up 4.07. Coffee up 4.11. Rough rice up 3.24. Wool up 0.75%. And copper now, for those of you that have followed or do follow Jono's bulletin, Barrett's bulletin, will know that he's called copper long yesterday, and what an absolute cracking run there, 5.59%. If you'd like a copy of that bulletin, then please give us a call or drop me an email, dc@commoditybroking.com.au. Happy to send it through. Currency crosses here with euro buying 1.3439, the pound buying 1.5696, US dollar buying 77.5490 yen, the Aussie buying 102.84, and the US dollar buying 1.0198 Canadian, and the US dollar buying 0.9135 Swiss francs. Okay, let's have a look at the economic calendar. As mentioned, that US employment data came out with a print of 206,000. They're expecting 130, so pretty positive stuff there. We've got some Canadian GDP numbers coming out, slightly less than expected. Year on year, though, better than expected, 3%, and the annualised number 3.5, so pretty strong numbers there out of Canada. We have the US Fed Beige Book Economic Survey out. Well, in fact, that looks like that data should be out, not posted here on this system. Then we've got some New Zealand terms of trade numbers, Aussie retail sales, so we'll see how we're looking to lead into Christmas there for some of our local retailers. Looking for a positive number there to support our Harvey Norman position. Chinese PMI manufacturing numbers due out for around midday there, sorry, and we're expecting just under 50. Below 50 is sort of a negative number, and above 50, anything above 50 is considered positive. GDP for Switzerland, and then going through to some PMI numbers out of Germany and the Eurozone later on this afternoon or early this evening. PMI numbers out of the UK just after that as well. That takes us through to tomorrow, where we have some ISM manufacturing numbers, PPI numbers out of Europe, employment numbers out of Canada, and that's pretty much it until we go through to the non-farms payrolls numbers for tomorrow night, which look like they'll be fairly positive at this stage. Okay, let's take a look at the Falcon Trader, have a quick look here, and see what we can see. Okay, so we've got our local index here. I think yesterday I talked about there being the makings of a head and shoulder formation of sorts. That's looking pretty positive at this point though, and obviously we're going to have a very solid day today. Another thing I was talking about yesterday, I think Tuesday was as well perhaps, was some of these local Aussie banks. So I've seen a couple of reports coming out from some of the brokers talking about that as well. So I'm actually long that from down on in the early $19, and that's starting to look like it will play out pretty well here, hopefully. The other thing, of course, with gold keeping up here strongly, we should see a little bit of an uplift in some of these beleaguered and bedraggled local sort of mid-cap gold stocks. So that includes Kingsgate, Medusa as well should get a nice solid lift up on the back of the rising copper prices there, because it has exposure to that, and you know it just beggars belief that we're seeing these stocks down here in light of what gold's doing. I'm just going to see if I can quickly overlay gold on top of, so we'll use gold Aussie dollar in this case because that's what's going to be relevant. Okay, that doesn't seem to have, okay, so I've got to go add instrument. We'll use the example of Medusa. Okay, so and I'll go to maybe a weekly. Change the chart type. Bring this starting point back to somewhere. So okay, so I'm going back to 2008 here. That's Medusa up there. That is gold down there. Now that doesn't seem to be demonstrating my point very well there. So what we probably need to do is to really look at where gold has taken off to start to get a feel for the disparity there. And we'll go back to a daily. And perhaps we can start to get a better feel for that gap there. So anyway, interesting one to do. You can do that yourselves. Just go into your chart there, click on a right click, then click chart, then click add instrument, and you can overlay, I think pretty well as many different instruments as you like, but it's always interesting to see, for example, you know, a copper stock price action, share price action versus the copper price itself. Okay, I think I've gone on long enough here, so we'll leave it at that. Happy days here. That idea of a Christmas rally is starting to really form up pretty nicely here at the moment, but of course you've got to be mindful that things can change very quickly, and one day does not necessarily make when a warm day doesn't make a spring, I think is the saying. It certainly applies here with the markets as well. So leave it at that, and until next time, bye for now.